not previously known about this car. Okay. How's your guys' night going so far?
Very great.
Good.
Alright. So, welcome to the 2017 Toyota Highlander Hybrid. We're going to start off on our Teeter-Totter, which everybody thinks we put in just for us to have fun, but we do have something to show you while we're up there. It does serve a purpose. And we're actually going to show you something called our Hill Start Assist. So we don't have a lot of hills in Chicago, but I like to think of it as being in your parking lot or parking garage. You got to stop and get the ticket out of the machine. And there's always that guy that pulls up as close as he possibly can behind you when you're on the hill. This is actually going to give me a few seconds to move my foot from the brake over to the gas before it starts to roll backwards. So I'll actually get a little bit of time that I'm not going to immediately roll into the person behind me. So kind of a nice safety buffer there.
There's a hill in Lockport at the stoplight that I roll backwards sometimes.
You guys are from down by there?
Yeah, so from Frankfurt.
Yep.
Okay. I live by Goose Lake,
Okay.
so even a little further south there. Goose Lake? Yeah, Goose Lake, Lincoln Lake.
Where's that at?
It's technically, it's like by Coal City, Morris area.
Oh, I got you.
So like, you know where the river, Des Plaines River in Illinois becomes the Illinois River at the Kankakee, like right in there.
This is 2017 model, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So 2017, it got a little bit of a facelift, but the actual model's total revamp happened a couple years ago. So now I'm getting my parking ticket out of the machine. I can take my foot off the brake. 1, 2, 3. Eventually it will start to roll back, but it just gives you that little bit of extra time, which is nice. So this time resets it, foot off the brake, I can pull forward, no problems at all. Didn't roll back into the person behind me.
I like the double sunroof.
Yeah, and it opens up here,
All
so
the way or just that one?
just the front part does. But then you can also close it too and make it so it's a total sunshade too. So this surface we put down up here is actually meant for ice skating on in the middle of summer, so it is really slippery, but it allows us to show off a couple of things. Our all-wheel drive system, our traction control system as well. So if I go to this, we're in the hybrid model. We have 3 motors in this car right now. We have a gas and an electric one up in the front, powering the front wheels, as well as charging a battery in the back. And then we have an electric engine in the rear that just powers the rear wheels. So most of the time, it's actually just using the front wheels to drive, as that gives us better fuel efficiency. But when the car decides that it needs extra traction, it'll turn on this rear electric engine, giving instantaneous torque, and it will actually become all-wheel drive. So even on the slippery surface, I can get going no problem. I can navigate the turn, keep accelerating through the turn, and with the good ABS brakes, I can come to a full stop, no problem at all. Now we'll come up to our Chicago potholes and manhole covers here. Still not that bad, nice and smooth over them, big holes.
This part's going to be identical as Jeep.
And if we pull up onto this, we'll come up to about a 30-35 degree angle here. And what we like to point out while we're up here is the athletic stance of this car, as well as how stable it is. We're not going anywhere no matter how much we shook it. It's actually got 8 airbags in it. Top Safety Pick Plus rating from the IIHS, which is basically the insurance company's safety standards. So very, very safe car. There's lots of things working in the background that hopefully you never need, but they always are there should you need them. Another thing that was added this year that we'll kind of talk about, it's kind of hard to show it inside, but it does have automatic high beams. So the car will actually detect if you have your high beams on, we've all been there, and you leave them on and the guy starts flashing his lights at you to let you know that you're blinding him. This car will actually automatically dim the high beams for you, as well as once you've driven past the person, it will turn the high beams back on. So, and it does that with the radar system that it also will use to do radar cruise control. So you can choose a certain distance from the person in front of you, and it will maintain that speed. So if they slow down, you'll slow down, and if they speed back up, it'll speed up to whatever speed you are going. Now we're going to show you what I think is the coolest thing in this car. I have a button over here I can push, and I can actually get a 360 degree view of everything around the car right now. So maybe somebody left a bicycle behind me. Yeah. So I can pause, maybe something's behind me, and I can get a view from inside. So if I'm in my garage, maybe the lawn chair fell over onto the car last night, I can see that before I start to back out. Now I only get this rotating view while I'm in park, and it's done by a camera in the front, one in the back, and one under each mirror. So my hand's going to be huge because it's really close to the mirror. But you can see on there, my hand is out there. So it is a real picture of what's going on.
As well as on the other side?
Yeah, so there's one under each mirror.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. So I only get that rotating view up to, while I'm in park, sorry. But I get this view up to 5 miles an hour, and I can choose different corners of the car to zoom in on. So I want to make sure I don't run over this sticker here. So I'm going to make sure I don't. Okay, I got plenty of space there. Cut it nice and close. Now I'm going to switch to this one, and I'm going to make sure I don't run over the grass over here. So I can see that I have plenty of space. So it's pretty cool that it does that. So now it uses those features as well as our blind spot monitoring system, which if somebody was in my blind spot, it would light up in each mirror saying somebody was in the blind spot. But if I go ahead and put the car into reverse here, I get something called a rear cross traffic alert. And what this will actually do is if, say I'm in a parking lot and I got a pickup truck on each side of me, and I can't see somebody coming from one way or the other when I'm going to back up, the car will actually beep at me and warn me saying, hey, heads up, something's coming from one side or the other. So it starts beeping at me saying, hey, somebody's just decided to jump out behind your car with a shopping cart before I could see it in either of the mirrors, which is pretty cool. Next up, we'll come up to our articulation rack. And with our articulation rack, it's actually designed to kind of upset the suspension a little bit. It lifts up different wheels at different points. You're probably not driving over something like this on your daily commute, but a couple of years ago, they did redo the suspension completely on this car. So even going over this right now, it's totally capable of getting up onto it. It's actually pretty comfortable for us in here. No problems at all. We can do whatever we need to. Keep going. And now we have our cobblestone road, and so it's actually meant to signify that there's a lot of sound insulation in this car. So let alone the fact that outside we've had people on loudspeakers, tons of people everywhere, but in here with the windows up, I mean, we've had our own conversation. We haven't had to talk very loud. It's been totally fine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This truck is very identical to Jeep.
Yeah, we kind of highlighted similar things.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so I hope it was fun for you guys.
It was. Thank you very much.
Yeah, continue to have fun the rest of the night.
All right.